Good evening. I'd like to thank the committee for having this forum so people could come and share their opinions. And I'd like to thank the full board for dealing with difficult things like this. I know that you're going to hear from other people who are going to point out that the resolution is outside the board's purpose and a waste of time. It's a federal issue. But I would just like to quote from the Refugee Act of 1980, the thing that the resolution seems to be based on. The objectives of this act are to provide a permanent and systematic procedure for the admission to this country of refugees of special humanitarian concern to the United States and to provide comprehensive and uniform provisions for the effective resettlement and absorption of those refugees who are admitted. It's a structured plan. What that act did was to try and upgrade and improve what had been before as we absorbed tons of waves of immigration from Southeast Asia and other places. When I think about the real nature of this kind of a resolution, I think it really is has a great deal to do with being a red meat issue designed to anger the base and to stimulate fundraising. You heard a lot of things about allegations about what immigrants do. This is a longer conversation for a separate venue, but virtually every wave of immigrants that's ever come to this country has improved the economy. They become taxpayers. Do some people slip through the cracks? I'm sure. But you can find a lot of evidence that suggests immigrants become, in a very short period of time, productive and contributing people to the economy, and state and local economies. Those folks spend money where they live. And then a while ago, and I appreciate the fact that you're kind of on point, because we've heard at least one speech which was sort of an anti-government diatribe. There were a lot of isms in there. The one that wasn't in there was Americanism. You hear a lot of conversations about language. I would submit that almost anybody in this room who came from immigrant stock, if language mastery were a condition to be included in this country, they would have never got in. But their grandparents or great-grandparents or whoever worked hard, they became good citizens, and I think just simply assuming that everybody who's coming into this country is somehow a danger or a threat is wrong.
Okay.
My name is Tom Irwin, and I served 3 terms on the county board, so I'm familiar with what you all are doing. And I gave each of you this packet. It's about a 40-page packet. And this is the new warfare that we're in right now. We're in World War III, except the Americans have not figured that out yet. And I know you might think that, well, I'm a bit of a quack. But the U.S. government actually discovered this by accident in the early 90s. It was used in the Holy Land trials, litigation. And what it does is lays out here very clearly what the plan is for the Muslim Brotherhood in this explanatory memorandum to take over the United States, to use our laws to take over the United States. How do they do that? They guide their people into each voting district one at a time. When they have a majority, then they vote their Islamic Muslims into power, and then they start replacing every government employee with an Islamic Muslim, and there you go. They move on to the next one. And if you want to keep the wool pulled over your eyes about that, if you think what I'm saying is foolish, then all you need to do is look across the river right here. And we can go to a number of other communities. Minnesota's got several of them going right now, St. Cloud, Wilmer, and probably Owatonna next. And that's the system. They're using our laws and they're taking over. They have no intentions of using the Constitution. There's already a lot of Sharia law courts throughout the country, and that's their goal. They're not coming here to change their way of life, to have a better way of life, to assimilate. They're coming here instead to force us to assimilate to what they're doing. And if you look at the U.S. verbiage in the refugees. They don't even say assimilate. Instead of assimilate, they use the word integrate. Integrating people into your community is a lot different than assimilating. It's not like our great-grandparents when they came here. In addition to that, our great-grandparents, they had to have someone to take care of them when they came here. The government didn't stand at the border handing them things, taking care of them, paying for all of their needs, trying to dump all that cost on the taxpayers. They came in here they wanted to become Americans, and these people don't. Now you can say, well, they're not all bad, and I would agree with you. But we can go to World War II and talk about Nazi Germany too and say the majority of Germans are not bad people. They never would have gone out to murder 10,000 Christians and 7,000 Jewish people. But they're insignificant because they're not going to do anything to stop it. You don't have to look very far for crime waves taking place in the United States right now, and the best place to look would be over to Europe.
Thank you,
Because
sir.
they
That's 3 minutes.
are
Thank
the
you.
ones. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Let's see, I didn't call the next person. I don't know, Matt Bachland, if you're in here. If not, yep, the next on deck will be Kay Haggerty.
Hello, good evening. Thank you very much for holding this tonight. For those who don't know, I was actually one of the original 4 organizers, along with some people in this room, who started this movement across what we call the 100-mile radius. What is happening is it affects 100 miles outside of Eau Claire. What that means is they were supposed to hold meetings with interest groups, county boards, city boards, schools, hospitals, and things like that. What we quickly realized by recovering 1,000 open record requests on this matter, this was done between 3 people in Eau Claire. It was signed by Stephanie Hirsch, who is not elected. Not elected. She signed a letter welcoming World Relief in. World Relief cannot tell us where the people are from for certainty. They can't tell us when. However, when we first started this process, we started at a VFW. Maybe about 150 people or so were there. We have stood in the rain. We have stood in the freezing cold. We've had the police and K-9 sit outside and watch our peaceful protests. We have peacefully went and told our piece at the county boards in the cities. This is taxation without representation. These are the good people of the 100-mile radius standing up and asking for a voice, asking for a seat at the table. They're coming to ask us for our dollars. In 1991, this program went bankrupt. In 1991, the federal government released any money that went to the states to support this. Between 1980 and 1991, the federal government was giving the states to support the schools, the food, the money in the pocket, the transportation, the translators. That's no more. World Relief only has to take care of these people for 90 days. Once the 90 days are up, it becomes us, the taxpayer. And the remittances that are leaving the United States every single year, Ron DeSantis mentioned this in debate twice, nobody listened to him. The remittances are leaving the United States from the hard-working taxpayers. And before I actually end here, I just want to thank every single person who has stood up, has been part of this citizen-led activity. We were in the heart of Eau Claire and Chippewa. We just got a huge victory in Chippewa. It passed the executive board going next month for a vote, and I hope you show up. But we've had Democrats, we've had Republicans, we have independents, and we have people who've never voted standing with us. This is an American issue, and it's time for us to reclaim our rights and have our voice heard. We are the citizens, we are the government. When your government fails, you stand up.
Sir.
Thank you.